Hey guys, Rosanna here. I'm back for the next page of um, my story in textiles. I didn't mention it in the first one, but I want to call this the hashtag my story in textiles. This is the one I finished. I still got to put it in the book. Quite like how it turned out. So really cute. Ended up with doing that one and then just doing some French knots in there in those because these beads come out. So yeah, so it was a fairly quick one because I'd mostly done a lot of the work. So, and then I spent some of the other night just getting some fabrics and bits and pieces for future pages. So but the one I'm working on today, I'm going to try and do it in order, is this one here. Now this is my brother and my mum and me. It probably, I mean, I was born in August, so it may be early 1970. All depends how old I am. So August, September, October, November, December. I look older than 5 months maybe, so it could be still 1969. I don't know. I'm hoping it's 1969. So I sort of did a bit of a layout, and then I grabbed, I finished bits and pieces tucked on the side here. I'd finished and I had this underneath here like that, and then I remembered I had this bit of fabric. I may use this in other pieces. It's very bright. Probably going to use that teapot. I had that, and I thought, well, that sort of goes with the colours that I've got here. The red's fairly red, but it's got pink in there. So that's a vintage piece I bought from Fabric Addicts on eBay, which is a store I go to regularly and get bits and pieces. She's got the best fabrics. So this is the piece that I had already sort of started, and I cut it up to be a bit more the right size. It's padded, but I want to utilise it up, so I'm thinking maybe I might put that underneath there, even though it's fairly bright, because it's made in Holland, and have that there. I want a bit of lace. I might just stitch that there, and then I've got this rickrack, which is quite small. It's big enough to go around, but I've also got this tin gorgeous. When I had my shop, I had these beautiful tins that I used to sell. Where's another one? The Tin Box Company, Mary Engelbright. Like that one because it was an arty one. So isn't it gorgeous? So I had all these, and I kept some of them. There was one that was a bit more like the Singer one that was black and everything like that, but I just really love this pink one, which has got Sandy Linen Cloud. That's why I think I picked this one, because I love her beautiful artworks. Okay, now this has got heaps of threads and stuff in there, and I was wondering, it may be too big, probably hide too much of the, yeah, I think it's too chunky. This is a little bit finer, but I might use it for something else. But I've got quite a little collection of trims. Some vintage ones that I got in a pack. These pretty little things in all different colours. Even got sequins. So yeah, bit of everything in there, trims and bits and pieces. Look, this actually reminds me of in Australia the police uniform. We've got this sort of stuff on there. Yeah, I think that's about it. Oh, that's pretty too. So you just never know what you might find. So that, yeah, I've got trims, and I like the white one too, because you can make that up into what you like. But I think this is what I'm going to go with. I do really like. Oh. So I got that trim from here. I do really like that because it sort of reminds me, you know, of little baby colours. And then when I put that on there, I thought I could probably go that, but I think I really do like that. And then I've got a little selection of buttons that I'm going to have on there. So, so once again, this is going to be a fairly easy one. We'll have a look how that looks. It is fairly bright, isn't it? That's where that's a little bit softer and blends in a little better, but I just like I love the little windmill. I think it's so cute. Maybe I can soften it by stitching a softer pink or something on the outside of it. So I'm going to grab some of my cottons. Something just dropped down. Okay. Sometimes you just got to go with it. It's probably something that stands out a little. Okay. Now, got my cup of coffee sitting here, which is always nice to have. Now, okay, we'll put it aside. And I'll pin these ones down. Oop. I've got to embroider that too. Now I'm wondering, actually I've got a bit of the blue here. I might do that now because that's done in my iron pen and I don't want it to disappear on me. I was thinking I should probably iron that, but then I'm like, oh, better do that. But black's probably a bit too harsh for this piece. It worked okay with my mum and dad one. So just very quickly embroider this. Just doing a back stitch. Try and keep in the same holes. Okay. So, have you grabbed your bits and pieces that you're going to use for your story in textiles? So, yeah, I just think it's a really lovely idea of personalising your journey and your story. And even if you've got, you know, old cabinet cards or whatever it is that you've got, which would be really lovely to incorporate into it, because I quite like that look, that mixed media look. Okay. Okay. There we go. Not going to take too long. Just I might do 2 stitches like I did on the last one. It's nice incorporating these old doilies that have a little bit of space where you can put stuff. There's quite a bit of old doilies around that you can do that sort of thing with. So I might pause it, finish that off, give it an iron, and then I'll be back. I'm just going to stitch that on. Back again. So I've done that embroidery, and I thought I'd do it just a little stitch in the pink to bring it in. 30th of the 8th, 69. It's fairly thick. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to stitch down and in there to hold that down. I might bring it in a tad. There we go. Okay. So, you hear beeping, it'll probably just be my my iron. Oop. Okay, so I'm just put that on there just so I know where to go. I cut a little bit of that off. I'm going to pin that down so that when I do stitching, it's going to sit still. Okay. I was thinking it might be nice just to do a bit of a running, because it's got nice crosses here, a bit of a running cross stitch. Have that sitting down here as well. Not a very sharp pin, pretty terrible actually. Okay, so do I do it in that colour, which I was thinking of using on the rickrack, because I don't want the rickrack to stand out too much, or do I go a contrasting? I think I might do this. Okay. Make it sort of stand out a little bit. That's this one. I seem to use this a fair bit to bring out some of the colour. That's why I bought another one, because I use it a lot. So I'll keep that aside. And we're just going to do a simple running cross stitch. What I might do, I might start here and do my usual holding it down, these tiny little stitches. When you've ever got a doily, they've always got these, and I think it looks really nice having that like a colour stand out a little bit, and the holes are there, and it turns out perfect every time. So, oops. So once again, we've got something that is mostly done, like the background was done. After this one, I'm going to be, you know, creating the background and doing a little bit more work. So, you know, it's just going to be an ongoing thing. Me stitching, maybe giving you ideas for your designs. Because this is quilted, you may not get to see, you see the stitching that I've done there, but you may not get to see the stitching that I'm doing now, but that's okay. I don't mind. This is going to be a bit of a thicker page, but I just thought it was something that I was just playing around with when I was still out in my old studio. So I've had it for probably about a year or so, and I didn't really like it. So I thought, well, the soft, pretty colours that are in there are going to work for this project. I've got bits and pieces that I'm grabbing out and organising too. I've got one of the pictures of my boys. My younger son's got a vest on, which I made for my oldest one, and he's wearing it now. And I've got some of the fabric left over somewhere. It's got little cars and stuff in there. So I'm going to see if I can find that bit of fabric. I've got my friend, it's a bit dusty, it's been hanging in my room. My friend gave this for me when I got married, you know, those little things that you hang around your arm. So I might put that in with my wedding photo. And I've also got some gloves, and I've got a photo. I'll grab out the photo of my mum wearing some of these gloves. They're my mum's gloves, and she actually wore it to my wedding, but they were the gloves that she had. So I've had them hanging in my room, and I thought I want to incorporate that into, I'm going to do one side with a picture and then one side with some sort of embroidery and all that kind of stuff. So it's definitely going to be bigger than just the few pages that I've got, 10 pages that I've got, because I want to do picture one side and sort of like a slow stitch textile art thing on the other. So that, like, I might put this in with that picture of me when I, you know, because this sort of represents, and that the time that I did, it's like stitching. So there you go, there's my iron. So so one side, you know, picture, one side bit of embroidery. Now I might do a cross. Just want to do just a little bit of embellishing. Hopefully you guys can see this, doing it at a weird angle. Okay. Usually either do 3 or 5. Might just do the 3, I think, because you've now got to work in conjunction with the detail that you've got. Now, it's a little bit tricky. I can't find my my other thimble. I've got this one. Not that I need it for this. So, and when I get to the top, I'm going to stitch down, even though you're not going to see it, but it needs to be held down. So I'm just going to do a plain old running stitch on the top. Oop. Okay, well, I might pause it and come back when I'm back down to here. I'll be back. Okay, I'm back again. Well, I've stitched that down, and then I've pinned this down. Now what I want to do, I'm just going to get this. I thought I'm going to do this first, and then I'll do that across, and I'll do the cross part in this colour, in that line there. Just gives me a line, so that's going to hold down the lace as well as the picture, and the same with that. So I've got this one where I just want it to be similar colour, because you can either use it as a highlight or you can have it as, you know, just to hold it down. So you might see it a little bit. Okay, now, so I will, what I usually do when I do this, pin these down, is start off there. I have, now I'm gonna, so this will hold the rickrack down, but it's also going to hold the actual photo down. First one can always be a little bit tricky. There we go. Now, this is a, I think this might be a Pearl 5. It seems a little thicker. Okay, now the way that I do it, some of you may have seen me do this before. So just go like that. So that's going to hold the photo down as well. Gives it a bit of a decorative look. Oh, seriously, I need to pull it down, but it also does the job of holding the photo down. So it's going to be a little bit trickier going around the corner. And I quite like rickrack because it was very popular stuff to use when I was younger. So I think it was more in the 50s and 60s. So I think having a pretty rickrack, and that's a vintage one, so maybe from the 60s, made in Australia. Yeah, so nice to have some vintage one that's probably from the era of when I was born. So I sort of want it to stand out, but I don't. So if I would have wanted it to stand out a bit more, I would have used this colour, but I just want it to sort of blend in a little bit and be strong enough to hold down the photo as well as the rickrack. So you get the drift. Going around the corner can be a little bit tricky. Yep. Yep, still holding it in. It's funny stuff, the stuff that they use to, it's printed on fabric, but it sort of almost feels rubbery a little bit. I went and did it in our local Xerox shop at the time, when it was really popular to make these heirloom things into quilted, you know, like crazy quilt or just quilted project. So I'm glad I waited and didn't use it, because I'm getting to use it now, which is very nice. So get the drift of what I'm wanting to achieve here. Different ways you can frame your picture. That one's going to have rickrack, other ones are going to, you know, probably just have fabric. I'll pause that. Okay, I am back again. So I finished stitching that on, so that's being held down, and then that's being held down. I'm going to keep it like that, because when I stitch it in the book, that will be held down there, but I quite like that it's like this. So I'm going to do a stem stitch around there. I keep on calling stem stitch satin stitch, no, satin stitch, stem stitch, and the other way around, but this is definitely a stem stitch, and I'll do it in this thicker colour to sort of lighten it up a bit. And I thought I'll put that down there, that way I don't have to do all of it. So that'll hold that down. And then I'll just go with my Gouvernail thread and hold those other ones down. Then I've got buttons to put there, and then pretty much I am done with this one. I mean, if I had to do all this embroidery, it looks like, oh, there is a French knot in there, okay. So it looks like there was a French knot missing. So that's the beauty of using beautiful embroidered doilies. Saves you a lot of work. Okay, now we're going to start here, and I'll start actually on it. So it's going to be holding it down as well as lightening it up. So we'll go in it to hold it down, and because this is a thicker thread, it'll go over the edge. Okay, and if not, you know, it'll over time go in, if you know what I mean. So it's mostly the right colour, just apart from that bright red, but I just thought I have to put this in there. What is more Dutch than a windmill? Maybe clogs, some cheese. But when people think of Holland, they think of windmills and clogs, I think, and the traditional outfits. Okay. I may trim this because I really don't want to see that black. I'm trying to lighten it. Okay. I really like it when things like this work out. I've got something that I want to have, and it's in the right colours, which is good. And if it's not, you sort of incorporate it and make it work a little bit like this. Stitching it down and lightening it up. So, yep. So at least this piece of slow stitching that I've done, it's actually getting used, which is good. Yes, I'm lulling you all into a false sense of security. The last two pieces have been really quite quick. The next one, you know, I'm going to have to create a background and, you know, do some stuff on that. So but as you can see, I mean, I'm using this up, and yes, it's hiding some of the fabrics that I've got, but I thought I'm using it up. It's in the colours. A bit of a thick page. That's okay. Because all of the other pages aren't going to be as thick. Okay, well, see how far down we need to go. Just go down and then come out. There we go. Oh, I like that. Very pretty. And if I want to, I could probably do a whip stitch, but it sort of looks a little bit like a whip stitch anyway. So what I might do while I'm here with this thread, I am going to put a button in here. Normally you stitch it down first and then put a button, but since I've got the thread, I might stick the button down. I like this. These are vintage buttons, which is good. At least I know it's going to be held down. It's all twisted. Untwist it. There we go. Go through it maybe 3 times so it's held down. One more. It's fairly thick thread, so wouldn't want to do too much more. As you can see, might struggle a little bit. Okay. Oh, that's cute. Okay, so I'll just go down and finish that off, and then I'll come back, pull that down. I'll just stitch those down, so I'll just pause it again, stitch those down, and I'll come back when it comes time to sewing on some of the buttons. I'm glad I found that. I mean, even though this is really pretty, but I'm sure I'm going to use it for another one. I do love my yo-yos. These are the beautiful vintage yo-yos I got from Doll's House Vintage, Lulworth Blue on Etsy. So, okay, I'll just pause it and I will be back. It's so cute. Okay, I'm back again. I've stitched these down and I put that button there, and I'm just going to put those. I had originally put more there. I still may put this little one there. I don't know. I'll see how I go. And then I thought I might put a button just there. Be nice just for something, and that will hold that down too, I think. Okay, actually I might zoom out. Oop, I always do that. And show you up close. This is pretty much what the layout and everything is going to be. I don't think I'm going to do much more than that. You know how to sew buttons on, so I won't bore you with those details. I'm glad I did that actually. I quite like how that's turned out. And this gorgeous little picture, it's so cute. It's sort of, I wanted it to be sort of babyish because it's my baby photo. Yeah, so like in the soft pinks and blues and all that kind of stuff. Okay guys, well, thank you very much, and I will catch you in the next one, which is probably going to be, oh yeah, I've got another one. This is when I was in Holland, why it's made in Holland, and the next one is one where I'm a little girl, and that's when we first landed in Australia. That's how old I was. And I wanted to sort of do like a little girl's dress thing with that. So okay, I will catch you in the next one. I hope you're enjoying this new series. I hope you do my story in textiles as well. That would be really nice to see some of your stories and some of your journey in your life as crafters and quilters. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you later. Bye.